Power Book 2 Ghost return today with the 6th episode of Season 2. I ain't gonna make this intro long because I think we can all agree we waited long enough for this episode. So I'm gonna just hop right into it. When the episode starts, we see Lorenzo sitting at the head of the table. He's at his welcome home party. Everyone's around showing him love. He makes a point to tell everyone at the table, yeah, my daughter Diana, she's a real one. She held me down while I was in jail. She did what she had to do to get me out. She the realest. Matter of fact, she the realest person at this table, realer than all you guys. Even Keno. Now, we get to meet Keno here. He's a guy that knew Lorenzo from his time inside. Him and Lorenzo grew tight while they were inside. Lorenzo protected him while he was inside. Keno says, man, Lorenzo, you raised a boss. Man. To see the look on Diana's face, she was so proud that her dad was speaking of her like that he thought so highly of her. Monet, on the other hand, couldn't stand the fact he even came out his mouth like that because she's the one that raised the kids while Lorenzo was the one that laid down for 10 years and was locked behind that wall. Lorenzo goes on to tell Keno now that he's back home, he's going to go back to running business as usual like he did. They're going to go back to their old business agreement, which was a 60-40 split. Of course, 60 for the Tejadas and 40 for Keno. To his surprise, Keno turned him down, telling him, nah, man, I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm running my own thing now. I'm the leader of the BSKs, Broad Street Killers. Lorenzo just laughed it off like, yeah, whatever, man. Shortly after that, we see Zeke, Ab, and a few of the other basketball players come in the house. He basically tells him, man, get the fuck out of here. I don't know you. This is a private party. And Monet has to step in and say, hey, babe, you remember my nephew Zeke, right? You can see all over Lorenzo's face. He has nothing for Zeke. Doesn't give a damn about Zeke, who he is, what the connection is, but he loves Monet. So you know how he shows that love? He tells one of his homies, oh, yeah, he welcome, but pat him down. Pat him down. Pat down Zeke. Pat down Ev. And at this point, I wonder, what the fuck Ev even showed up for? I mean, clearly we know what he showed up for, but you already know the situation. You already know the family a little grimy. You already know you ask a lot of questions, and you already know your lips is loose. Lorenzo telling everybody that Drew's the future. Drew's going to be the one that's going to be running the streets when he's gone. Meanwhile, little Guap is in there, scared to death, praying that Lorenzo forgives him for what he did to Zeke, not knowing Lorenzo doesn't give a fuck about Zeke. Can't let him know. Lorenzo doesn't care about Zeke or any of that bullshit. All he cares about is get back to running business as usual and getting this money. He want to touch down on the street and remind everybody that Lorenzo Tejada is home and that the New World Order has begun. Lil Guap's even dumb enough to ask Lorenzo to take a picture for the gram, to which Lorenzo says, fuck your picture. To me, I think that he's going to kill Lil Guap. When I say he, I mean Lorenzo. I think he's going to get Lil Guap out the picture because Lil Guap is just not understanding that social media is just not the way. The streets and social media don't mix at all. And Lorenzo, he's old school, which is why he keeps reminding everyone he wants to run things the way that they used to be. Mind you, he did 10 years. 10 years ago, Instagram wasn't popping. And Facebook was Facebook. At one point, we even see Monet approach Ev. She got Drew to go and get her some wine just to get him out the area, just so he wouldn't be there to see how she was going to go at Ev. She walked up to him and told him she knew exactly who he was, to which, of course, he denied because we all know he's on the low. He doesn't want anybody to know. He's still trying to make the league. He's comfortable with who he is in private, but he's not really out there in public with it. So once again, he denied it. She said, I know who you is. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're not welcome here. Get out of my house. He obliged. I mean, there's nothing else he could do. He left with no incident. In one of the next big scenes, we see Lorenzo and Monet in bed. And he's basically telling her, listen, Diana, she belongs in school. Kane, That's our soldier. That's our muscle. As long as he's respected in the streets and feared in the streets, he gonna be cool. We don't have to worry about him at all. But Drew's the one. He has his head on straight. He's smart. He's calculated. He can make the right decisions. He has to be the one to take over from me at some point, and he's going to lead the family to the promised land, basically. And he let her know, yeah, I saw how he was looking at one of those basketball players, but even though he's in that life, he's still the one that got to take over. He's still the one that I trust with my family name moving forward. Show shifts back to Tariq, sitting down talking to Cooper Sachs and Davis McLean in one of the rooms, and they let him know Yaz is back in foster care, which, I mean, we already knew. Nobody really needed to tell us that. But what Davis does tell him, Davis and Cooper tells him, is there's no way you're going to get bond dealing with a regular judge. It's going to be too much pressure on them. They're not going to be able to let you out with you being accused of bodying a cop. Whether you did it or not, it's just too much. It's going to look bad on them. And you know they all stick together. However, Davis also let him know that an appellate judge may just be able to be swayed a little bit, a little persuasion with the right leverage, the right influence. Rick automatically got the idea to let him know, hey, say no more. All y'all got to do is get Rashad Tate in here to talk to me, and I get done the rest. Now, after this is where we start to see trouble in paradise for the Tejada family. We go back to Monet's bar, and you see Kane, he presents his dad with his old Jesus piece that he used to wear back in the day. He went to the jeweler, had him put a couple diamonds in it, had him shine it up really, really nice for him. And instead of showing his appreciation for his son by saying thank you, he says, this is nice, but if you really wanted to give me something, you would have gave me a one-on-one meet with the plug. Needless to say, Kane wasn't feeling this, and he already knew exactly what he wanted. He wanted to meet with the plug so that way he can cut him right out of the middle, get rid of the middleman, and give all the business right to Drew, and just put Kane back in his quote-unquote place as just the muscle. Kane wasn't feeling that at all. After Kane left, pissed off, as always, Drew let Lorenzo know, hey, that guy Keno, I ain't feeling him. And his people ain't feeling him either. So we need to eliminate the threat. I know some of you probably saw the little snippet they put out a couple days ago or a week ago, whenever. And Drew said eliminate the threat. That's the threat he was talking about. He wants to eliminate Keno, have his guys run with them, and take over all of their territory. Lorenzo said, I like that idea, but we can only move forward with that if we can get his number 2 in line with that. It's all good to make plans, but you got to be calculated. You can't just be moving sloppy. But that kind of initiative and that kind of thought process is exactly why Lorenzo is entrusting everything to Drew. Because we all know Kane would have just wanted to go up in there and shoot some shit up, and would have caused more long-term problems than the Tejada family would want it, short-term and long-term. Kane's not a thinker. He's just muscle. And he thinks that he can be more, even though he's never shown that this far in the series. We also see that scene of Monet and Diane in the bathroom where Diane is basically what we thought checking Monet and letting her know, hey, I didn't tell you to kill that guy about the money. I went and got that money because I wanted Poppy out. That's what's best for our family. The family been broken too long. I felt as though we needed to be back together. I didn't tell you to kill him. Now, when we all saw that snippet, we all thought she just told her off and walked out the bathroom. Hell no. Monet gripped her by her throat. Who the fuck you think you talking to? I will kill you. Just like she told Kane earlier in the season, or earlier in the series. I will kill you if I had to. And that just makes Diana question Monet more. Like, why? Why don't you want Poppy out? What's going on? It had to be something going on. It's a reason you don't want Poppy out. And why is that? In another scene, our boy Reek get a little visit from Kanan during a hallucination scene. And Kanan tells him, who has the most to gain from you being locked up? So naturally, he thought that because Kane is obviously the one that framed him, that it had to be Monet. And he's hot. And Kanan let him know, you have no proof. You don't know who did it. But sometimes it could be the ones that you trust and the ones that you love the most that'll do you wrong. You know, it's kind of like a callback to, you know, how Kanan trusted Ghost and Tasha, and they the ones that sent them up. We even got to see Lauren go speak to Professor Milgram about The Wire and ask her, why didn't you tell me that you were actually putting me up to, you know, get Tariq locked up? You kept telling me that this was all about Braden. And Milgram has no remorse at all. I mean, Tariq killed, you know, one of her, I guess you can call it side pieces. You know, killed one of her, you know, one of her playthings. She wasn't feeling it at all. She showed no remorse. We even get to see Monet go visit Mecca and tell him, hey, you know that little arrangement we had where we were going to let our son know the truth? Oh, yeah, all that shit dead now. That ain't happening. It can't happen. It won't happen. Sorry to disappoint you, but that just is what it is. My husband's home now. My family's back together. And I got too much riding on this to let anything fuck it up. Especially something that wasn't concrete before. We ain't about to shake shit up now. And Mecca, you can see it all in his face. He's pissed off. And that ain't a guy you really want to fuck with. Needless to say, we've already seen what he's capable of. How he had the chef just slice Nuff's neck like it was nothing. The way that he broke Little Guap's fingers. He doesn't give a fuck about anything but him and Monet. So all Lorenzo is another obstacle. And I think we're going to see that heat up this season. And if it doesn't reach its boiling point this season, then I know season 3 is going to be a hell of a season. And that's going to be one of the major plot points, Lorenzo versus Mecca going forward. But let's not jump too far ahead. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I'm stay on topic. But while Monet's sitting there with Mecca, she gets a call from Lorenzo. And she has to let him know, hey, be quiet. This is Lorenzo calling. And Lorenzo informs her, hey, your boy that you had running that course correct shit up at Stansfield, Tariq, yeah, he's locked up. Why did you and Kane think it was a good idea to try to frame this kid? How did everything get in his room? This is a bad plan. It could backfire on our family. I mean, there's no way around it. Kane fucked up. And we already know how Lorenzo looks at Kane. He already said that he isn't the smartest cookie. You know what I'm saying? He isn't the smartest one around. And when Lorenzo finds out that it's Kane that did that, it's just going to prove everything he already thinks about Kane. And remember, earlier in the series, he got guards to lay hands on Kane and basically whoop his ass. So it's really no telling how he's going to react when he finds out that it was Kane, especially if things start getting close to the family. Monet, she does what she does best, tries to protect the family. She went with $250,000, $250,000 to Davis McLean, gave it to him, handed it right over, and told him, hey, look, I just need you to keep me in the loop with any information that could potentially lead back to my family. Cooper Sachs said, ooh, $250,000? That's nice. But you want this information? You want this not to lead back to your family? I'm going to need that double. I'm going to need $500,000. I'll give you any information you need. However, I have to tell Tariq, my client, if it's anything that's going to hurt him. She said, yeah, $500,000, I get it to you. But for $500,000, I don't give a fuck who it hurts. Then Monet lets Kane know that she needs course correct to stay up because that's the only way they're going to be able to get that other $250,000 to get a Davis McLean to keep the family in the clear. That's music to Kane's ears because he's basically like, hey, we don't need Tariq. We never needed Tariq. That rich kid, Braden, he knows just as much about course correct as Tariq. He's just as connected as Tariq, you know. And basically, I got him in my pocket, Mom. If I say jump, he's going to say how high because he wants to prove himself to me because he really wants to be down. But this presents kind of a problem in the family because while Monet wants course correct to keep running and everything to run smoothly under the radar, Lorenzo said, nah, fuck all that. We about to hit these streets again. And matter of fact, we all hitting these streets. Everyone but Diana. Diana, she gonna go to school. But everybody else, they gonna have their own block. They gonna have their own team. And that's how we gonna run everything. Old school. just how it used to be. Once again, he wants to run everything like it was before he went in the pen. He hasn't changed with the times. He said, I'm back home, and it's a new world order for real. I'm the head of the Tejada family, and we're going to run things the way I say, the way I see fit, because I know best. Even if he doesn't. We see Reek at a bail hearing where he's granted bail. All he had to do is get $100K. Rashad Tate came through for him. Now, this is where Cooper Sack starts to get a little iffy. Though he's working with Davis McLean now, you know, he's putting his law skills to work over there. He's still a Fed at heart. And he's asking Reek all kinds of questions. I can't believe you killed the cop. This and this and that. And Davis basically had to check him. Hey, we don't get paid for that. We don't get paid to be asking our clients to confess. If they tell us anything like that, we really can't defend them the way that we need to. We don't ask our clients for confessions. Do I have your word that won't happen again? We all know Sack's lying ass just agreed. We'll see how this plays out. Reek also asked, had they been able to get in touch with his mom? They told him no, but after he leaves the room, it's revealed that, yes, Tasha's in Mexico. And things get a little heated between Reek and Braden when Reek touches back down on Stansfield campus. He basically lets him know, hey, man, I trusted you. You was too fucking stupid to see that Kane was finessing you. Why the fuck are you even in this? You know, you don't have to do this. Your dad is rich. He well connected, man. Just tell him, get you a job, get out of this life before you get somebody killed, somebody get hurt. And Braden came back at him exactly the way he should. He told him, hey, man, listen, I chose this life just like you. Don't act like I'm the only one with a rich and well-connected dad. You had a rich and well-connected dad, too, and you chose this life just like me. So we're in the same boat. And Reek tells Braden, man, you know what? Fuck all this conversation. Shut course correct down. Without me, this shit is dead. Basically just storms off on him. Monet and Braden meet up. Monet, Braden, and Kane meet up. And Braden kind of low-key, he doesn't snitch on Kane, but he's basically lets Monet know, yeah, all that shit Kane did, he tricked me. I didn't know any of that was going down. Sorry it had to end up this way. And just walk smooth off for Kane to deal with Monet. Reek meets up with Lauren on Stansfield campus, but it isn't a happy reunion at all. He wants to go back to her dorm and talk, and she's hesitant. She's like, you know, I'm not sure. I've been hearing so many things. You know, I just don't know what to do. And Reek's basically telling her, like, why listen to everyone else when you know me for me? You know me better than anyone here. So why listen to anybody, especially Professor Milgram, who been getting clapped by Zeke? Yeah, you remember that paper I gave you that said a teacher and a student is having sex? Yeah, well, she been throwing it back and getting clapped by Zeke. That's what that is. No, but then Reeks tells Lauren, you know what? You all I had with Yaz and my mom being gone. But you know what? You ain't riding right, so I'm done. We done here. That leaves Lauren back to Professor Milgram to confront her and ask how long she actually knew they were looking at Reek for those bodies. Basically just smiling in Lauren's face and telling her, basically, you know, it doesn't matter how long I knew. We did the right thing. We got Tariq locked up. And Lauren hit her with the Uno reverse card. Told her, hey, listen, you want to play games? Let's see how funny it is when everybody found out that you was getting clapped by Zeke. We see Effie pop up on campus, and she keep things real with Tariq. They had a real conversation. She tells him, you know, you say Braden didn't look out, but did you really tell him everything, or were you keeping secrets? She also tells Tariq that he got to keep a cool head when he's saying he don't need it to hide the family. He's done with him. She tells him that they both need each other. You know what I'm saying? You saying you done with the whole Tejada family, but you need them as much as they need you. And Reek told her, you know what? You the only one that ever really hold it down. And in true Power fashion, it wouldn't be an episode of Power if somebody ain't get clapped. So you know if he had to get them little cheeks up to Reek. I mean, come on, it's only right. It's only right. Later, we see Lorenzo and Diana having a little conversation. He comes to her what he thinks is good news and tells her that him and Monet is willing to pay for her full tuition to St. John's. Now, while she's happy that she's going to get to go to school, she's not happy about the location. And she actually doesn't want it. She, like, turns it down. She like, man, you know what? Monet knows exactly what she doing because she knows I want to go to Stansfield. She's just trying to keep me away. Oh, yeah, and by the way, she doesn't even seem happy that you're home. Lorenzo denies it, but she says, you know what? You weren't even part of her plans. Something that Drew later corroborates when he lets her know, when he lets his dad know. Yeah. So the plan was when Zeke goes to the league, we're just going to follow him around and work for him. Because no one really knew that you were coming home. So you never really fit into this plan at any point, Dad. Sorry to tell you. But yeah, that's how mine was rocking this whole time. You know? We even see Braden and Tariq have a real open and candid conversation in a true Ghost and Tommy moment. One of my favorite moments of the whole episode. And they just keep it real with each other. And Tariq opens up. He tells them about 2-Bit killing the GTG guy bars that Kane sent to kill him. He tells him that Kane body Ramirez. Hell, he even keeps it a bean and tell him, yeah, Reynolds. Man, yeah, bro, I did it. That nigga just knew too much, man. Now you know everything. You know, do what you want to do with that information, bro. And Braden, just like Tommy would for Ghost, told him, bro, I got your back. Whatever you need, I got you. He even proves his loyalty by going to his dad's house and taking that photo album. Got all the dirt on Rick Sweeney that Councilman Tate need. Reek later lets Effie and Braden know, listen, y'all my new team. Braden, you know course correct as well as I do, bro. I'm going to need you to hold that down. Effie, you handle the re-up. Tariq got an ankle monitor as a condition of his release, so he's basically locked on Stansfield campus, can't really move. Only place he can really go is to see Davis McLean, so it's a straight line to Davis McLean and right back. So he going to really need to lean on the only two people he feel like he can trust, Effie and Braden, to get the job done. We even see Lorenzo Tejada Sr. versus Lorenzo Tejada Jr. I mean, Kane and Renzo ain't on good terms at all. Lorenzo show up to what he think is a meet with the plug, and Kane let him know, oh yeah, Pops, as far as you concerned, I am the plug. I'm the plug. You ain't meeting Mecca. I'm Mecca as far as you concerned. And Lorenzo just reiterated himself again. Told him, listen, you ain't ready because you can't think things through, and this is a prime example. Kane told him, listen, man, with you home, we ain't got shit. We living off mom. You out here talking about everything gonna be how it used to be. Ain't shit happened since you been home. And Lorenzo had to step to him kind of like Monet did. You know what I'm saying? Earlier in the series, Kane asked Monet, am I your son or your soldier? In this episode, in this instance, Lorenzo asks Kane, are you my son or you my boss? Later, we see Mecca actually sent Kane a message that said, you know what? I changed my mind about meeting your pop. Yeah, set that up. And that gets my mind going. Is he trying to blow up the spot? You know what I'm saying? Is he trying to meet him and tell him, oh, yeah, so while you was in there, y'all was fucking on your baby mom. I was fucking on our baby mom. Oh, yeah, and I got a kid by her, too. So what you want to do? You know? Or is he going to try to kill him? It's just so many questions. There's so many ways they could play this. Man, this was a good episode. Towards the end of the episode, we see Effie visits Reek again. She's in his room, and they're sitting down and talking. He even kind of tells her that, man, listen, this nigga Kane, I gotta kill him. I gotta get him out the way. He even shows Effie the letter from Ghost and says, look, man, he knew me better than I knew myself. To which she replies, or maybe he didn't know you at all, and tells him that his story isn't over. It's actually just beginning. And the show goes off with Reek burning the letter that he got from Ghost. Man, this was a hell of an episode. Not super action-packed, but it was a lot of moving parts that's going to set up some big stuff for the rest of the series going forward. And, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. If you enjoyed this information, like, comment, subscribe, and I see y'all in the next one.